So let's get into each of the steps of the system. The first is writing, which seems obvious, but can you tell us what's included in this step and why it would be important to go through it even if you've already maybe written your book or story or article?
Well, as the children's book market becomes more competitive and more people are entering the market because of the ability to self-publish now, that is much easier than it was even 10 years ago. Craft is key. The only way your book is going to rise to the top and get attention is if it's better than the other books out there. So writing is still the most important step, and it's the one that you really need to take the time with. So even if you've written a manuscript, when you get to our site, it's really important that you read through our writing material, maybe even look through some of the steps on the writing course I created, and try to judge your work in comparison with the information we give and see if it really does stand up to the level it should. We've also recently created online critique groups on our site. And so that's a wonderful way to get feedback from other writers who are writing for the same age group as you are. And I always tell writers, I don't care how good you are, you cannot judge your own work. You have to have outside input. The other really great thing that we have added in the last couple months to our site, every step of the way we have expert guides. These are people who are either well-published authors or who are experts in their area. When we get into steps 2 and 3, I'll explain those, who create content for us, who answer questions from our members, and who are really a personal source of information. So if you have a specific question about writing a description in a middle grade novel, you can ask Herbie Larson, who is a Newbery honor-winning author. And, you know, you can't get much better than that.
No, and how fantastic is it that it's a truly interactive site and process. I mean, to be able to ask questions and get feedback from published authors is well, I think it's priceless.
Right, it really is. And I think that's a very unique feature of our site, is that we have this access to these high-level experts.
Right, right. Well, I haven't seen it anywhere else. So step 2 is publish. So can you briefly tell us about the different kinds of publishing available today and how CBI can help, you know, go about choosing the right one? Because there's so many different things. You mentioned the ebook craze and all that. How does step 2 kind of guide you through that process?
Right. Well, the amazing thing about publishing today is that authors have way more options than they ever did before. It used to be you sent your manuscript into a publisher, you waited to see if they liked it, and the power of getting published was at that point in someone else's hands. Now you have options. So the steps that the publishing options that we make available or that we give information about on our site: traditional publishing, which is submitting to publishers, and we teach you how to do that, how to write a query letter, how to format the manuscript. Submitting to agents would be the same process. There's self-publishing, which is where you actually create a physical book, but you pay for the cost. You design the book or hire a designer, an editor, print out the book, and then you're responsible for all the marketing. And then there's ebooks, which is a self-publishing option as well, but it's all electronic. And we have experts that can help you in every step of the way with those options, and we explain the process. We have tutorials on our site for how to turn your ebook into formats that can be sold on the Kindle and the Nook, and all sorts of information.
Which if you've never done before is, because I just did this, I just tried to help an author get his first ebook published on the Kindle, and it's not an easy process. You think it is, and they make it sound like it is, but it's really not. So I'm sure that's very helpful.
We also have one of our guides who is going to start creating material for us is a book designer, and he's going to give a lot of great information on, if you're self-publishing, what do you need to think about for the cover design and the interior design. And these are things that as an author you would be in control of, and a lot of people like that, but they're important steps because your book has to compete with traditionally published books out there on the shelf, so it has to look just as good.
Right. Okay, so step 3 is promoting, which is huge. I mean, that's where it all boils down to that really in the end. So these days publishers want to know, especially if you're going the traditional route, how you're going to help them promote your book. So how does CBI help you wade through all the ways that you can promote your book? And there's social media now and all the options.
There are a lot of options, and publishers now are pretty much expecting authors to take a big part in the promotion of their book. We have a social media expert guide who, if you want, she can set up your whole social media program for you.
Oh, wow.
Or she's got articles, and we have how-to videos on our site, how to set up a blog, a Facebook page, Twitter, how to connect them all. We have lots of articles on different aspects of setting up a publicity campaign. We kind of try to break it down so it's not overwhelming. You don't have to do everything. You have to figure out what works best for the audience that you're trying to reach. And if you're writing a young adult novel, those kids are on Facebook. If you're writing a picture book, you want to reach parents. And so you might be going toward book review blogs, or there's a lot of mom bloggers out there who have sites for parents. And those are the people you might want to reach with your publicity. So we help you wade through all that. We also have an offline publicity expert, John Kramer, who's huge in the whole book marketing world. And he's got a lot of great advice on setting up a book tour, doing radio interviews, all that sort of thing as well. So we cover a lot of different aspects of the publicity.
Great. So it truly is from the beginning to how to craft your writing and write for, the age group to, how to publish, which avenue to go to, and then how to promote. I can't think of any other site out there, especially in the children's market, that has everything built into one. And this interactive, thing that's going on is amazing. So can you tell us a story about someone who was really green that came to your site and has since been published?
Well, we have a couple great success stories I could tell you about. One is Anastasia Sewin, who is a very successfully published author. When she first became a member of CBI, this is Children's Book Insider, our newsletter, this was several years ago, she had never published anything. And now she is our expert guide for easy readers and chapter books. Her book credits cannot be listed on one page. You need at least 2 pages to list all the titles she has published in the last 12 years or so. She is just amazing with her output and very, very good at teaching what she knows, which is why she's now our expert guide. We also have Karen Robertson, who's our expert guide on ebooks and apps. And she did the same thing. She self-published a book, and she created an app for it. And it was so successful that she then created an ebook for authors on how to do an app from your children's book. And so she's our expert guide on that, and another great source of information. So those are 2 success stories in the many that we have that we're real proud of. Also, if you go on our site, I have a manuscript critique service. And if you click on the Get a Personalized Critique by Laura button, you will see testimonials on that page from authors that I have critiqued who are members who have gone on to get published. So we have a lot of great feedback from people who have become successful.
Great.